Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's been a hot minute since I've done a weekly rankings video, so I'm going to tell you about the more than 5, it's back to one of those again, but the 8 books that if you did not pick them up on last week's New Comic Book Day, you should try and pick them up on this week's New Comic Book Day, and to find out what they are, you should check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Before we hop into the top 5-ish books, we did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to give a big thank you to the folks over at Pop Force 1 who last Thursday night gave me an extra little push to get over the edge, and we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep evolving. We're going to keep doing new things. And I'm excited. You've got until the end of the month of May to enter the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. My plan is in the next day or two to put together another prize like feature video that you can comment on to get an additional entry onto the wheel, but that's what I'm doing. So let's talk books. So my top 5-ish is actually a top 8 this week, but I'm going to talk about my 3 honorable mentions real quick. Honorable mention number 1 from Image Comics is The Good Asian #1. A very interesting story about the Asian immigration policies that existed post or during and after World War II. It's an interesting character who is dealing with policing the Asian community, where he's got to go after his own people, and he's dealing with a mixed amount of feelings about it. Second honorable mention is Batman number 107, or 108, sorry. I actually really enjoyed kind of looking at what the Insanity Collective is all about, and the dialogue that was had between Bruce Wayne and Miracle Molly. I think she's a very interesting character. The Ghostmaker story at the end was just kind of okay. The last one, I can't remember if this came out this week or if it's something that I put on my list and it came in a week late, but Eden, a one-shot from Aftershock written by Cullen Bunn with art by Dalibor Tajalik, Valentina Brisky, and Marshall Dillon. Very interesting story about a man who tattoos a woman and what happens with her tattoos. 3 very compelling stories that I think you should definitely check out if you're not reading them already. So, coming in at number 5 is a book that I haven't talked about in a hot minute, but it made the list. It was real good, and it's almost done. From Image Comics is Bliss number 7 by Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky. We are starting to see the fight of father and son against the god that kind of creates the drug that brainwashes everybody from, remembering all of the horrendous things that they do. Holy shit. The last 2 pages of this where they think they have solved the problem and what really pops up, real good. So for a book that I was iffy about at the end of the first arc has really amped up the intensity in arc 2. So definitely give it a check out if you haven't. Coming in at number 4 is something not in a bag and board because it wasn't on my pull for the week, but from Boom Studios is Eve number 1. It's by Victor Laval, Joe Mi-young, and Brittany Peer. Very interesting post-apocalyptic story of a young woman who her destiny is kind of to save the world, and you find out kind of how she's been groomed into this role, mixed with what may be a real memory versus a fake memory. The teddy bear is an interesting kind of secondary character in terms of the relationship that the two of them are trying to grow. Very interesting book. The art is quite beautiful, and we all need more post-apocalyptic stories in our life. Coming in at number 3 from Mad Cave Studios is Beck Star number 1 by Joe Corallo, Colin Gilly is the artist, and Joe McGill is on the colors or letters. My mistake. Very interesting story about a woman who is like a mercenary in space. This does a lot to set up the conflict arc in terms of why people are after her, in terms of learning about the past, like, collective or group of assassins that she was part of. Very interesting kind of sci-fi high action tale from Mad Cave Studios that I didn't read this in the previews just because of my surgery and all the other timing, but very intriguing story that I think could last for multiple arcs based on how they kind of play it out. I don't know if this is planned to be a 5 or 6 issue arc or if there are open-ended plans for it to go beyond the initial arc, but very excited to see what happens to this in the future. Coming in at number 2 from Image is Noctera, number 3. It's by Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel, and Tomeo Mori. Very intriguing kind of look into her childhood when the big PM first started. Very interesting look into kind of the origin of the villain. Very interesting look into the grandfather and granddaughter who have been the passengers in the trailer since Arc 1. All around, real good stuff. This is a book that, like, I don't know why I need to keep singing the praises of how good Scott Snyder is as a writer or how dope Tony S. Daniel is on art, but this book is a home run from Image. The series is going to have a relatively high bar for screwing something up for me to not want to read any more of it. And then, coming in at your pick of the week from Vault Comics, Hollow Heart number 3 by Allure and Tucker. This series continues to mesmerize me each and every week that it is out. That looking at the saga of L, looking at the people who are helping him break out of his containment, trying to figure out what in the actual hell is going on in the area that L is trying to break out of, like what their endgame is or their actual motives are, is very, very interesting. That this story has gone from super depressing in terms of looking at L's like station in life and his trapped mixture of man and machine to where we're at in this one where he's got rage and is kind of fighting for revenge is beautiful. Looking at the jagged relationship history of the person who's helping him break out is also a very interesting take, and I think the art in this one is also phenomenal. So I know that this is quicker than usual for a weekly rankings video, but you know that I'm trying to deal with hurt mouth and not having to cough a lot from mouth going dry. But let me know what you think. Are there any books that you would have ranked higher? Anything that I put in my top 5-ish books that you're like, not very good? Let me know either in the live chat over here or in the comments down below. Don't forget to comment on my Road to 1,000 subscriber giveaway video to get you your first guaranteed entry into the prize pool of all of the things I'm giving away. Don't forget, if you're interested in joining the Patreon, the information is down below. That gets you free extra entries into the giveaway. And I think that's it. So as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Thank you for being a friend.
And from my heart, I want to give you a big Bronx yeah. Yo, big things soon to come. Keep doing your thing. Come.
And I want to thank you. Thank you, silence.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.